Cool. Well, everybody, welcome to the Motion Parallax Initiative.
This is RC.
This is Hong.
And I am DJ Anti-Pope X.
Ignore my laughing. My chuckling is whatever.
I think you'll get used to it sooner or later.
That's your Christian name. You were baptized that.
I guess so.
Well, my Christian name is but my confirmation name, the saint name that I took when I was confirmed was Francis of Assisi.
Yeah, we're just as confused. I mean, I get the historical reference to the anti-pope, but we're just as confused. So, welcome to the show.
But yeah, so for everybody who doesn't know exactly what we do, it's kind of a free-form podcast. We mostly talk about movies, comics, video games, TV, pop culture, Assassin's Creed, Canada. And
Wait, when did we talk about Canada?
We talked about Canada.
Do we blame it, or we just talk about
Well,
Sorry, I'm playing the stick of truth, so I'm going to South Park friend here. All right.
And cons, too. We've
Yeah,
talked about cons at length.
Anyway,
Everybody, welcome to the show, Mr. Johnny Zito.
Hey, thank you for having me on the podcast, guys.
Cool.
I'm a little nasally. I'm a little sick right now. Got a head cold. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to hang out.
yeah, you're in the same boat with me. I am kind of sick too, so.
Man, it's the weather shifts. Like, it's supposed to snow here. I'm in Philly. It's supposed to snow here tomorrow. Maybe 12 inches, they said.
What?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's kind of been weird here. Let's see, it was Friday, I think we got into the 60s, low 70s, and then yesterday it topped at 60. Today it topped at 60. We were supposed to get rain, and we got like a sprinkling.
Yeah.
And then clear skies. I was actually supposed to work on a short film today, and they called it. They canceled it. 2 hours later, clear skies. I'm sitting here going, patience. Just pay. Yeah, don't you hate that?
Welcome to the East Coast.
Yeah, welcome to the East Coast. So you're still getting snow, even though the first day of spring has come and gone.
It's on
PMS. Poor Richard's almanac. It says it's going to be a cold spring.
Oof. Yeah, my folks live in Jersey, so
Yikes.
It's gonna be
I
pollen.
hear about it.
It's gonna be pollen season down here soon. And for everybody who hasn't experienced pollen season, think the snow you're about to get, but yellow.
Yeah.
I have major allergy problems. I'm gonna die.
They just wear one of those, masks that they have in Hong Kong.
Like the Tokyo subway mask.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Chinese haven't bought all of them yet. I mean, they're trying with their pollutant issues, but you gotta love the juxtaposition. On this side of the globe, it's plant life. On that side of the globe, it's pollution. But in both cases, we wear the same masks and we look the same. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Deep down, we are all the same.
No, we're not.
Wow.
I was kind of hoping somebody would join me.
I don't know that song.
Do you remember that song at all?
No, I don't even know that
Do
song.
you know that song, Johnny?
No, I have no idea. I'm not a musical person, though. I have a very limited musical collection. Despite iTunes and whatnot, I never stocked up. I never got too deep into it. I'm more of a listen to the radio guy.
But you are a big movie guy, and that is what brings you to this podcast today. A little film called Alpha Girls.
Yep. Yeah, I made a horror movie with some friends 2 years ago, and we toured it around, and that's how I met the Anti-Pope. And we had a show at the Plaza in Atlanta, among other cities, and now you can find it on demand. Check out alphagirlsmovie.com for listings and a trailer and whatnot. But it's a sorority slasher where a bunch of sorority girls accidentally summon a horrible, evil demon thing that then hijacks their lives and murder ensues. It's a family film.
Yay!
And you shot this entirely in Philly, right?
We shot in a old frat house, actually, like an old Ivy League frat house at Thomas Jefferson University. And it itself was almost 120 years old. and kind of spooky, kind of haunted, and we just tried to make the most of that. Like the sub levels, like basements that go way too deep into the city before there was like a subway system or a sewer system that had to go around it, and that old wood. That's just like gotten dark from stain after stain after stain. It might as well be black. And we tried to just make use of that and make it look creepy, and we juxtaposed it with like sorority colors like pinks and light blues and things. And I guess the idea being that the gore would kind of like be heightened by the cartoony setting, and we could get away with more. But we shot it all in Philly, 18 days. We did it in an incredibly hot summer. Really great crew, really great actors. Are you guys horror fans? Or are you into the genre?
Yes.
We love pretty much a lot of stuff, but
especially zombies.
our last guest was Rob Fitz, and the best way to describe Rob Fitz is if you need somebody's head exploded for a movie and you're shooting in New England, you call Rob.
He's the guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, he is the guy. He's worked on Ted, Surrogates, R.I.P.D., The Fighter, American Hustle.
I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil American Hustle or any exploding heads that may appear within.
I don't
think any.
Yeah. I haven't seen it either, so I'm just as guessing here.
This is my first time.
There are exploding heads in Almost Human, which was the film that we brought him on to talk about last week.
Which one's Almost Human?
Oh, it's Almost Human is an independent film that also played at the Plaza. Body Snatchers-esque with a little bit of 80s slasher horror thrown in there.
I love 80s slasher horror. I mean, I think that Alpha Girls was also especially influenced by all of that. Movies like Black Christmas, and Night of the Creeps. I think it's kind of hard to do a horror movie on a limited budget and be like completely straight about it, unless you're going to do a found footage thing. I mean, you should always take it seriously, but embracing the pastiche of the 80s when they were just churning these things out to make money and whatnot, and like every movie is kind of just derivative of the next one. I like that the new crop of these movies like Alpha Girls and maybe Almost Human are more inspired by, influenced by, and then it becomes its own genre. You know what I mean? Like a subset within horror.
So an 80s slasher film doesn't necessarily have to be in the 80s. It just has to take that joie de vivre.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good way to put it, and I'm going to steal that.
When you write your autobiography, make sure you attribute that quote to me on the dust cover.
Check the footnotes, man. Check the footnotes. They'll be there.
Just make sure you put anti-Pope X.
Anti-X, asterisk.
Yeah, don't actually put his real name. Just leave it as that, because then everybody will be like, who?
The anti-Pope?
Well, by then they'll know. By then everyone will know anti-Pope Alistair X.
Whatever. Shooting on location, especially in a building with such history, obviously you got to be even more careful with equipment and makeup effects.
Yeah, electricity too. Wasn't necessarily wired for that kind of stuff.
As beautiful as the location was, what do you think was the most annoying or challenging part of working in this old frat house?
It was certainly the electricity was a big deal. We had a really great electrician on the staff who we got to bring in pre-production, who had a chance to look at the problems with that running those kinds of lights in the house would the kind of problems that would come up. So then the electric crew gets together with the camera crew and the actual electrician and the people who own the house, and they can talk these things through. And we actually ended up making a couple improvements to the place, both electrical and hardware-wise. And, you try and, like campground rules, you try and leave it better than the way you found it. And I think we had a real chance to do that on Alpha Girls. We got to paint some things, do some wood repairs, do some electrical repairs. But it was an uphill battle. On the very first day, before we got off the first shot, the fire alarm went off. And it was one of these old 90s fire alarms that were like wired into the building that thankfully it didn't call the fire department, but the company that had serviced this machine had been bought and sold so many times we couldn't figure out how to turn it off. We didn't know who to call to turn off the alarm. This went on for like 45 minutes, So the
Wow.
only thing we could do was then we had to take it apart and then put it back together. And it's like now they have a new sticker for the warranty, and they know.
Hello?
I got clunked on the head. I know. I got knocked out. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think Comcast must have heard you before.
They're on to you.
Don't mention it again. Don't jinx us.
No.
Yeah, we've had problems with the NSA on previous podcasts, but they're randomly coming into the house. And
You were not supposed to admit that we knew they were snooping. Now they know we know. And now that they know we know, they know we know. Whatever.
I'll point out this. Yes, I spent a lot of money on nacho cheese. There.
What?
Exactly. Anyways, moving on.
And I'm the anti-pope, so...
So you retooled the fire alarm system to have a brand new warranty, but what you were mentioning after that, what other issues came up with this very historic building?
Also, you want to be, and you're right, it's a historic building. It had been on this campus, this medical college campus for 100 plus years, passed down many generations of frat guys. And they were, when I say frat guys, it gives the wrong impression, like something out of Revenge of the Nerds. These were like late 20-something doctors who were like coming and going to their rotations. They weren't coming and going to parties. But geez, I mean, on any film set, you're gonna have problems with the bathroom. We got lucky; they had many bathrooms, they had many facilities in this place, but they were antiquated facilities. Like with the one room, and it's in the movie. If you check it out, the one bathroom has many toilets, but no stalls around them. And it never did. There's no hint that there was ever any stalls inside this bathroom, but there are like lined toilets, like it's the Sochi Olympics or something.
Wow.
So it's just like I can imagine 100 years ago in the freaking like 1910s, where it's just like drop your pants and drops a deuce, and it's like, I see, good sir, you appear to have a rather strangely shaped mole on your posterior.
I gotta tell you, it was, dialect aside, it was pretty much the same in 2010s.
Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
But check it out. If for nothing else than the house's architecture, I'm a bit of a house fetishist. I get a real kick out of those old brownstones, those old Victorian or Edwardian style homes that have gotten appropriated into university campuses. I think you guys, what's the one up there? Emory in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah.
Emory University probably has some of the most historic sites still standing. Georgia Tech's got a couple of old buildings that date back to the turn of the century, but most of them were replaced or they've been remodeled and added on. Emory's still got a lot of the historic feel to it.
Yeah, a lot of buildings here in Atlanta don't go any earlier than like the 1880s or 1870s, because Sherman's March burned everything down.
Right?
Yeah, the city has a tendency to just tear stuff down and build up new stuff. So,
Let's tear it down.
but then again, we were never the recognized capital of the United States at one point. So there's just less things here of national historical significance to maintain and keep.
Yeah.
But beautiful homes, beautiful old homes, nonetheless. Actually, my co-director, writing partner, roommate, best friend, Tony Trove and I got to speak at Emory while we were in Atlanta touring the film. And we spent the whole day on the campus afterwards, just chilling out. It was beautiful. It was a nice day. Coffee shops every 10 feet. So you can't beat it.
Yeah, nothing beats a easily grabbable cup of coffee.
No.
Especially if it's non-Starbucks, too.
Yeah, they were all little cafes, little beaneries. They roasted them themselves. It's quaint.
Gotta have that coffee.
Yeah, I love, like, if it comes to like cheap, I need some coffee and donuts and I need to feed a crew, I'll typically go Dunkin'. But if I just want to sit down, have a cup of coffee and like read a book or that kind of thing, I'll try to seek out an independent cafe, just because like they brew, I want, like, typically beans there, they're brewed, a little bit stronger, they're brewed a little bit better. You get a much better kind of, feel. They've got more personality. There's this great place in Atlanta called Aurora Coffee, which was on Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations a while ago, and if you ever need a couple Joe in Atlanta and you're in the little 5 Points area, definitely go there.
Promotional consideration for the Motion Parallax Initiative provided by.
Yes.
I've actually been there. I did hang out in the 5 Points for a bit as well. We spent 2 days there. 5 Points is awesome as well.
What did you think of Vortex?
What, say again?
What did you think of the Vortex?
Oh, is that the
The Laughing Skull.
Okay, I'm sorry. The vintage store, is that the one you're talking about?
No.
That's Jumpman's daughter. Vortex is the bar that's got the dizzy skull face as its entrance.
The bar. Okay,
Yeah.
It looks like the freaking portal to hell in like a Cool World or something.
Cool World, not hell.
Didn't get to drink there. There's no day drinking in Atlanta. You can't carry that around with you, huh?
No, fortunately not.
Not far enough south for that.
Boo.
Yeah, you got to go to Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
We hit all the vintage shops. What's the record store?
Criminal Records.
Criminal Records.
Criminal Records. Oh, that place was awesome. That was fantastic.
I saw your book in there too.
Yeah, they bought a couple copies. We finished the movie. We got the movie done, and we were looking for distribution. And we knew we weren't going to get into theaters or anything, but we wanted to get it to as wide an audience as possible. And to make it more attractive to a distributor, we took it on tour, and we did something like 28 cities in 30 days, or 26 cities in 30 days, something like that. And being in Atlanta and hanging out, or being in each of these cities and hanging out, then going and visiting the shops there and just trying to make inroads and make friends. And I guess not going the other direction in life, not going to and getting a steady 9-to-5 job. The fun part of making your own art and selling your own art is just getting to meet people. And so we tried to take advantage of that. We went to every record store, every comic shop, every hobby, every theater store, everything, anyone who would hang out. I mean, we went in one place in Indiana, we went to a house party where they watch shitty movies on Friday nights. And we were just like, hey, here's our shitty movie. Why don't you check this out? And it was real warm. It's receptive. You make a bunch of friends, and I still get to talk to those people. I still get to talk to here.
Yeah, you're talking to one now, so it worked out for you in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess I don't exactly know what my point was, other than to say that the people at Criminal Records were super awesome. But making friends, selling comic books.
Yeah, it's that's the kind of thing. It's the film industry is really all about who you know, as opposed to just filling out something that you see on a job board. Like today and yesterday, I was helping out on set construction for a film called Monkey Brains, which is done by.
Monkey Brains.
Yeah, the premise is that imagine a toddler is a Jaeger and there's two little monkeys controlling the toddler, but they don't exactly know how to run it quite right. So it's just hey, why did you drop that? I don't know. I pressed the button. It was supposed to do it right. That kind of thing.
As monkeys would not know how to pilot a toddler.
Now, are these talking monkeys or?
Oh, they're talking monkeys. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're
But they're
puppets.
speaking monkey, right? I mean, they're not speaking English.
I think we're going for Muppet monkeys.
Yeah, more along that line.
Okay.
Because it's put on by a group called the New Puppet Order. And when I say New Puppet Order, it probably conjures the idea of those hooded figures from Night Vale, but on a marionette type setup.
I didn't know anyone was trying to overthrow the old puppet order. I was
The NPO.
But yeah, they're actually a pretty cool group. They played at the Friars Club a couple of times, and they have had quite a lot of short films, and they've done a feature film called Good Grief, Suicide Hotline that they're in post with. So they're a good troop of people. Most of them are set decks, so they wind up working on set construction for a lot of the big pictures down here, like Ant-Man and Divergent and Hunger Games and whatnot. So
I think you guys have Goosebumps coming.
Yeah.
Weeks too.
yeah, it's actually one of the guys there, can't divulge his name, but he said he was going to be working on Goosebumps in the coming weeks, and it's going to be running until late July.
Yeah, I know. I have a friend. Philly's got a big community of freelance filmmakers, but the city itself can only support so many films a year. So a lot of these guys end up having to, jump to other states where the tax breaks are when the movies come through. So I have a few friends who are going down to work on Goosebumps. I'm quite jealous. I love those old books.
This is a film, or
Yeah, it's a film.
so are they doing it Twilight Zone anthology style, or is it just one complete
think
story.
Jack Black plays R.L. Stein, and he's like trapped in the books or something. That's what I read on.
So they're going kind of pseudo. What was it? Is Hell TV with Jason Ritter
Yeah, I think
or John Ritter?
Yeah.
Don't touch that dial.
Don't touch. Yeah, that was.
Touch that
Oh,
remote.
yeah. I remember that
Remote
movie.
Control? I'm looking it up.
Yeah. What the heck was that movie?
I think it was Remote Control. I'm looking
Google
it up.
fight.
Whose phone's gonna get it first?
Dun 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 dun.
Well,
dun,
RC
dun,
got the
dun,
laptop.
dun,
Ro-
Motherfucking bat.
Rooney was in that movie too, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah. No, that's Ben Stein.
Oh, oops. Wrong one. God.
You got a Stein.
I think it was Stay Tuned.
Stay tuned. You're right.
Yep, Stay Tuned.
Son of a gun.
Something Weird's on the air. Yeah, I remember that movie, and they used to play it on TV a couple of times a year, and then it's like it's gone. No one talks about the movie. No one airs it anymore. And it was that idea, that first idea of kind of one of the earlier successes where you kind of travel through all these mini set pieces that are so erratically different from each other, but you encapsulate it within the narrative. And it was great. That was great B-movie horror. Especially my favorite one was the Wayne's World, because when he comes down, it looks like the Wayne's World set. And I think they got permission from Lorne Michaels to do it there.
Really?
And all they did is they replaced their actors with the actual ones, because it wasn't Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. And they just did them up in the, what was that monster movie with Rowdy Roddy Piper?
They live?
It may have been, it was that kind of facial makeup.
Oh, wow.
And because that was the whole idea, is like these undead zombie demons, whatever. That's that particular channel's shtick.
Wow.
But oh god, it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
John Ritter left too soon.
Yeah, he did.
Mm.
His son's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he is. He's funny too. Looking up the state, I got it on my phone now, and it's just all these like celebrities saying how much they love John Ritter.
Yeah, he was one of those classic nice guys in Hollywood. He was one of the few people that just did screw people over to get parts.
I mean, I think you can probably turn on basic television anywhere in the world and find Three's Company or MASH or I Love Lucy. Like those are just three shows that are ubiquitous anywhere in the world,
too.
any time of day. You can find them on television.
Yep, Seinfeld, Simpsons.
Seinfeld has become that. Simpsons has become that too. You're absolutely right.
Also, I remember John Ritter from watching the Bill Cosby show, one of the episodes.
Oh my god, it's right. He was on.
Yeah, he was on
He
there.
was on Bill Cosby.
We're taking us back in the time stream.
I remember watching on TV. It's like this was like let's see the episode where his wife was. I think it was. Yeah, the actress is being pregnant. And also, he was giving out certain advice to his team and saying, "Man, it's been a while. It's like I'm sorry, it's so vague, but I remember seeing him on that show and mentioning with Bill Cosby that, or John Huxtable about.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
They were the Huxtables
Yeah.
in that version of the Cosby. Because how many shows did he star in
Oh,
where
sweet
his
Jesus.
name was in it? Because it was the Cosby Show, then it was like Cosby. It was a short-lived thing that he did on CBS.
Yeah, I remember that.
Cosby.
Ended a few years ago. So yeah, he's had his name as the show name for a while.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey guys, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's right.
All right,
Cool.
Reconnection Part 2.
Yeah.
Actually, part
Are
3.
you guys gonna
Part
edit
three.
these out, or is it gonna be like part of the show that my technology
If
sucks?
we can come up with something funny for the next one, we might keep it as part of the show.
Okay.
Yeah, might as well.
No workshop.
That or we can edit. It's easy enough.
Yeah, we'll just... But anyway, so, tell us a little bit about the comic book that you guys made, too. Like...
I guess Tony and I got into doing comics about 5-6 years ago. We won a contest with DC Comics, which was kind of like the American Idol, like a talent search kind of thing. And they carried 2 comics from us, 2 web comics by us for a few years, and those are available on Comixology. One is about zombies. It's called Black Cherry Bombshells. It's about a world where all the men have been turned into zombies, and the women gang up in these ultra-violent gangster squads to fight for survival. And booze is currency in their world, and zombies are weapons. And this went on for like 3 years or whatever. And more recently, we've had a werewolf comic come out called Dogs of Mars through Image Comics, and a superhero comic called Moon Girl that came out from Red 5. Yeah, it was a process, and I mean, it was like kind of like Tony and I saved $5 from every $10 we spent or earned in comics, and we put that towards saving to make a movie, and that's how we ended up with Alpha Girls.
Cool.
So this was like 5 years turning out these stories and working for these companies and just trying to save up our nickels and dimes so that in 2011 we could make Alpha Girls.
By the way,
And,
did you know you had a Wikipedia entry?
Say again?
You have a Wikipedia entry.
I do. I do. I forgot about that. It's like John Zito was born. It's like very short. It's a story.
Yeah. Did you write this, or did somebody else write this?
Somebody else wrote it. It was from when I think it just has the DC Comics stuff on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's nice that somebody thought that the DC Comics stuff was important.
Well, I find that a lot of the comic book guys, they're the ones that are the most frequent when it comes to updating Wikipedia on all the newest stuff. Like when the New 52 was announced.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
Pretty much.
within a week, almost every major character had a subsection for character biography or whatever, New 52. I'm sitting here going, it's like, does DC and Marvel, do they employ people whose sole job is to update Wikipedia and to make sure nobody's posting this bullcrap stuff?
Yeah.
No way, man. The comic fans do it themselves. They are the police force. They are the ones who keep the continuity straight and the artists and creators in check. They are not to be trifled with.
So if I was to go onto Godzilla's webpage and say that he's the bastard son of Barney and who should we make his mother? Somebody powerful, kind of scaly and creepy.
Medusa?
Medusa? No. Is Martha Stewart old enough?
Well,
Great! Now we've got Comcast, the NSA, and Martha Stewart's fan club after us.
At least when she kills us, it'll be wonderful presentation.
I know,
For
right?
the cops to find. At least that. You know?
Don't trifle. She's been to jail. She knows things.
Yeah. I agree. Who knows? She might knows how to swank us out of nowhere.
Yes, the next roast we have is laced with cyanide or something.
Maybe.
Be
So
wary of the invitations she sends out. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, she does have quite the rep. I mean, the fact that she even survived her jail time and is thriving now again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes something to go to jail and then come back even stronger. She's like a Saiyan. You beat her to the point of death and she comes right back, twice as strong.
She already has the golden hair.
Yeah.
And I still want some of her cookies. That sounds so wrong.
What do you think it's like when she sees the full moon? Do you think she just turns into like a 50-foot story, like I'm gonna bake you the best cookies ever?
I don't know about that. So Johnny,
Yeah.
talk about the complexities of getting Redbox and Amazon distribution, because I imagine was iTunes very difficult as well, or is there like a review process? Is there a certain amount of exhibition that you have to have in order to get iTunes distribution for a film?
I guess where to begin? So after we toured the Alpha Girls, after we toured it around, we came back home and we looked for a sales agent, and we hooked up with a real nice guy from New York who shopped the film around to a bunch of different video-on-demand distributors, and we ended up hooking up with Gravitas Ventures. And anyone out there who's an aspiring filmmaker, I encourage you to look these guys up because they're really great. They're really transparent.
How do you spell that?
Say again?
How do you spell that?
Gravitas, Gravitas, Ventures, like the band.
Yeah.
Or the brothers.
Go team.
But they're real great guys. They're real transparent. They make a lot of their money through video on demand websites and through streaming video sales. And so That's a real new marketplace, and everybody's got speculations about what that means and what kind of money you can make off of that. And, obviously, all the artists who make movies are doing it because they love it, but in order to keep doing it, they got to make money, and so it's a touchy subject sometimes. But these guys have given some South by Southwest discussions about it as well, or lectures. I don't know exactly what you would call it. Hosted some discussions about how to properly market and maintain a presence in this streaming environment, and that's why we ended up going with them. They really seem to have like a handle on it. They have a really transparent way of doing business, and that's just much appreciated, especially when you're dealing with a giant company and you're like one of 1,000 movies that they're going to put out this year. It's the same thing in comic books, those big companies that are the big companies and have stuck around for so many years. It's because they know how to treat their creators and funnel that good work through the pipeline. So they ended up, we go through a quality control process with Gravitas. You send them a copy of the film, and they say, if there's, they examine it, and they examine the soundtracks, and they look for any kind of mistakes. And once the film has passed quality control, which can be kind of difficult because not everybody knows the technical aspect of filmmaking as well as others, and this is a very technical part of it. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't get cut off. But it's a very technical part, so sometimes people get tripped up. Maybe you got to go back a couple of times with the distributor and correct a few things, maybe do a few exports. But we were lucky. We knew what we were getting into when we started. And so we passed on the first try. And then Gravitas goes out to all of the VOD sites and all of the on-demand services like Comcast and Cox and Time Warner, Amazon, iTunes, Netflix, Redbox, and they approach them not all at once, because that would just be like throwing spaghetti at a wall. They got a guy whose job it is to go with your movie to each one of these VOD places or services and talk to them and get them to sign your movie on. And then, it's all about how much they get, how much you get from each download and each click. And, that's all dependent on, I guess, how many users each service brings to the table. And I don't know, all that stuff's over my pay grade. It's why you get
math and
somebody
algorithms and whatnot.
Yeah. But Gravitas handles, your distributor, and in our case, Gravitas handles a lot of that stuff. Now, if you want to, and I have friends who have self-distributed, and if you want to go that route, I think it's easiest to get on iTunes by paying for it. It's like a subscription service. You become like a preferred member or something. Don't quote me on that. I haven't done it myself, but I believe it's as easy as that. But again, they have a quality control department as well, and they're going to hit you back with if there's a sound issue or a skip, a little digital fragment in your a little pixelation in your video. So, I mean, those are just kind of like the back-breaking minutia details. You've written your story, you've shot it all, and now you've got to like export it 50 times so that anyone can watch it.
Exporting's always a bitch.
It is, and it's the guys who do it. They get overlooked too. I mean, they're a huge part of the operation. They're the button at the end. Of the tailored suit, as it were. And those guys have to deal with everybody else's, hodgepodges and quick fixes, or respecting everyone's big goals and dreams, and get out a quality program that's going to look good on every single television out there. That's the most mind-boggling part. You gotta feel bad for these guys who do all the color correction. Not feel bad, but sympathize. They do all the color correction and they do all the work to make. We're like, as directors, we're like, we'd really like the pinks to pop. But then the guy whose job that is, he has to color correct and export it as such. He has to make sure that each pink pops or the pink pops the same on everyone's television, no matter how it's set, and every VOD service, no matter what their Silverlight or other streaming services program is. So it's painstaking, and it's not the part they teach you at film school, but it is quite interesting, and I highly recommend anyone who's thinking about shooting a film to start by looking into what the deliverables are for a feature-length film.
What were some of the weirder things that happened on Alpha Girls? I'm pretty sure that you have quite a few stories. What would the maze and the fish and the maggots and interrogation room scene too?
Let's see. What do I got? What do I got in the weird and funny world? Well, I will say we shot it. We shot it at this old frat house, and we shot in the middle of the summer, the dead of the summer, July 10th to the 30th or whatever, and it was a record-breaking heat. It was actually 115 degrees on one day, and everything was going wrong. But nobody knew that everything was going wrong, but a few of us, and so it's like plugging holes in the sinking ship, and then finally we around noon we managed to find our ballast and get the day going. But it involved a kiddie pool. It was so hot and people were getting so exhausted that we had to go out and buy a pool and bring it to the backyard and fill it up and have a pool party in the middle of the day so that we could get our energy back to get back in there. So popsicles were had and water ice was had and we barbecued, and then we got back in there and we finished the second half of the day. And everybody was real troopers. Everybody's real cool about it. But it's definitely harder when you're trying to keep morale up, and it'd be so much easier to just give up or whatever. Heat be damned, we got it out that day. What else? We had Ron Jeremy. We had Ron Jeremy come on board. He was there for a day. He plays a priest in the film. If you get a chance, I highly recommend checking out his scene. He even speaks Latin. He holds the Bible my parents were married with.
Oh, oh, that is.
They have this old Germanic gothy looking Bible, and it was the night before, and the props guys were like, they had a Bible, but they were like, we don't like the Bible, we want to change the Bible. And we're on such a shoestring budget, the guy's got to they have to clear it first because we've already spent the money on a different Bible. So we were just calling up everybody we knew. You got an interesting Bible? And the most visually interesting one was my mom's. And I was she's like, don't lose this. This is the Bible your father and I were married with. And I'm like, jeez. Well, I'm sure Ron Jeremy will be real delicate, real gentle with it.
So, do they know who he is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They know.
Were they cool with it?
My dad's a comedy aficionado. He loves hilarious, corny films. That's where I get it from. As far as the film obsession, my parents every Saturday night when we were kids, up until I was a teenager, because I grew up in kind of a rough neighborhood, so they tried to keep us indoors as long as they could. But movie night, Saturday night movie night, and movie night actually started closer to Saturday at 4 p.m. and then stretched until people fell asleep. So we would go through all the Mad Max movies or all the Caddyshack movies and things that were just before my time, but they were the movies that my dad went to see in high school and when he was a kid. So I got a good exposure to all that stuff through my parents. So when I was making this, and again with Tony, they were kind of like, oh man, you guys are doing this. You're making one of those movies, Teen Wolf. You're making a Teen Wolf. And,
well, they made a Teen Wolf, and it's a show now.
Oh, the television show. Yeah.
That was shot here in Atlanta for a season.
Who's your favorite Teen Wolf, guys?
It's got to be. I'm going original. I'm going Michael J. Fox.
It's been so long since I've seen the original. I remember it, but I'm not really a fan of either. To be honest with you.
Oh.
Yeah. Nope.
Jason
it was
Bateman,
fun,
you guys
but
are crazy.
What?
Jason Bateman?
Jason Bateman in the sequel, yeah.
Oh yeah, there was Teen Wolf too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
I try not to remember that one.
Oh, you missed. And there's the little tag at the end where there's a reveal that his teacher is a were-raccoon or something.
A were-raccoon?
Yeah, she walks away at the end of the movie and she's got a tail sticking out from the bottom of her skirt, and it's a raccoon tail. It's not a werewolf tail because I guess she's a chick. She becomes. I swear, go check it out.
Oh no, I believe you. I that's how well I remember the second one. I don't even remember that. They may have cut that part off for television because of editing. They're like,
for time restriction?
we need to get to the credits.
Johnny?
I think that in the first movie he's a basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a basketball player.
And in the second one he's a boxer. He's boxing. I think he's in college and he's boxing. Yeah. And at the end of the movie, a werewolf beats up a guy in the ring, and everyone's okay with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just trying to remember. There was some movie where or something where it's. No. It's an episode of Batman the Animated Series where you got the sports athlete turns into a werewolf because he's taking some anabolic steroid that's been developed from wolf
That's
adrenaline
Scarecrow.
or something.
Yeah.
I think that's a Scarecrow episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah, right. Scarecrow, yeah.
Oh, it's like his fears manifest or
Yeah.
something.
No.
Oh, he actually turns
this was
into one.
Yeah, this was an actual werewolf episode of Batman the Animated Series. Yeah.
I can't wait to
Speaking of people
Man.
transforming,
He was an Olympian or something. I can't
Right.
remember which. But yeah, you'd think they'd have a problem with interspecies fighting.
well, in Batman the
No,
Animated
it's
Series,
like-
they had the pilot episode was on Leather Wings, where like some scientist takes bat.
Yeah, the
DNA.
Man Bat.
Yeah,
Man
it
Bat.
becomes Man Bat. Now that's so freaking awesome! Like to become like you are the Man Bat. You are the living incarnation of like a gargoyle. and
Pretty
whatnot.
much.
Like it's got to be pretty cool. But yeah, so Teen Wolf 2. I'll have to check it out too, and I'll have to make sure nobody ever plays that at FWA because bad things will happen afterwards.
There are worse movies that could be played at FWA.
I
Right.
think there's.
Johnny, do you know what we're talking about? I apologize.
I think I have FWA. I guess it sounds like we have a similar thing, a shit movie fest.
No.
No, it's a different kind of fest.
It would have been.
I guess it's up to me. But FWA is Furry Weekend Atlanta.
We have a convention that takes over one of the largest hotels in downtown Atlanta, and it's full of furries for the weekend.
Yep.
It takes all kinds. I mean, I don't think I'm a full blown furry, but I do own a Pokemon pajama costume that I wore out for Halloween this year, and I got all kinds of weird attention while I was out there.
I bet you had.
Well,
I did. People were like, guys, girls, old, young. They all knew the phrase, "I choose you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got that wherever I went, and at first I was like, "Ha ha, how funny!" But like after it happens 25 times, it feels like you might be in danger. It feels like somebody can actually snatch you up in a Pokeball.
Yeah. The only time I ever did anything like that was many, many years ago. I went to Anime Week in Atlanta with some friends, and one of them had rented a full-body panda suit for her boyfriend.
So like a mascot type suit.
Yeah, like a mascot thing. And all the girls kept hugging him or, say, "Oh, panda!" And she kind of got jealous. But they had spent money on this, and they were like, they didn't want to give it up. So it's like, all right, I'll wear it. I wasn't dating anybody. And so for a day and
So
a
did
half,
all the guys start flocking to you?
No. For a day and a half at AWA, I can't remember, this was maybe 12 years ago, I think. No, not that far, but 10, 11, 12 years ago, something like that.
Damn.
You get all of these girls, and at first I thought, this is great. And then the realization hits, I can't tell how old these girls are.
Every anime.
So then
convention.
it's like, I want to hug, but I'm concerned about it.
Yeah, it's like then
Hey, you're the pedal bear.
No, I was not.
Or the
But
pedal bear.
the best part was some guy was dressed up as a yatta. Remember the music video where the guy's
Oh yeah,
only
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
the
leaves,
fig leaf?
The
Yeah.
leaves. Yeah.
He comes out and they asked me to pose, and they've got the DVD for it, and so I do the whole pose with it, covering my lower area to match. And somebody saw it, and they were like, "Dude, you got to come do the Yada song with us at karaoke." And I'm like, I can barely walk in this thing. I don't know if I can dance on a stage. So, but yeah, I've done the whole mascot thing, and it's kind of fun, the attention you get, but at the same time, it is murder in those things.
Oh,
it is
yeah.
so
Yeah, it's
hot.
like the folks at like Disney Orlando must have it so hard because it's like 90 to 100 degrees like during peak travel season.
But they have safety regulations. Like, the part of the cool thing in Walt Disney World and Disneyland is there's this sub-network of passageways and areas that I guarantee you, every single one of those mascots, they're within 10 minutes or less walking distance from one of those hatches where they can take the hood off.
Okay, so
And they have very good-
Ubisoft, if you ever decide to make Assassin's Creed in the 60s, well, think Disneyland, because you got your fast travel network built right in.
Yeah. But they
That's a great idea, actually. That's a really good idea. A little Assassin's Creed and a fake Disneyland.
Yeah.
yeah, because there's no way in hell that Disney World would ever agree to an
No. It'd have to be like Frisbee World or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. See, that would just be a great parody game to make.
Assassin's Creed. Disney.
Not even. Don't call it Assassin's Creed. Call it like I don't know what the name would be, but the idea is it's all inside of a theme park, and there's like a secret brotherhood of the mascots. So you go. So instead of going around in the Assassin's Creed garb, you go around in the mascot garb.
So they're the old puppet order.
Yeah, they're the old puppet order. And instead of the retractable knife gauntlet that they've got, there's other stuff that's inside the headgear and the paws that allow them to, like, there's X-ray vision attachments that you can get,
like a hidden rifle, like a rifle hidden in the tail or something,
or flamethrower, because you got enough space inside of those pouches for gas tanks.
Yeah.
But that could be fun. So any entrepreneurial video game makers, make an Assassin's Creed clone, but you play as a Disney World mascot. And think of the customizability. You can make any kind of mascot you want.
Yeah.
That alone would make multiplayer probably the weirdest and most disturbing multiplayer you'd ever see.
Welcome to Sesame Street. The hood version.
Bert and Ernie are just like, you came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker.
Survival. Let's see. It's a Survivor, the Jim Henson edition.
My money's on Animal. I think he's got it.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of have to agree with you on that one. Yeah.
That guy can.
And I'm pretty sure Sweetums can hold his own in a fist fight.
So with the success of Alpha Girls, is there anything brewing in the screenwriter minds, or do you have a script written? Like,
Yeah, do you have a comic in the pipeline or something?
We have a few things in the pipeline. I think it's going to take about a year to get everything out, just because Alpha Girls was such a huge undertaking that it took all of our time and energy for like a full year. And so now stuff that we have been working on since then is almost ready to come out. We got another comic called Slumberland that we're going to hopefully be releasing within the next year. And that's about... I don't know if you guys remember the old comic strip, Little Nemo in Slumberland, but this is...
Yeah, they made an anime of that.
Yes, back in
Long
the
time ago.
90s, I believe, right?
Yep.
And it still have yet to see any release yet or some. I remember.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that's kind of hard to find.
Yeah,
I
I
actually have a copy of an old DVD, probably from the late 90s, probably from like 97, 98, and it's a VCD transfer. It's like so old.
Oh, still.
But this is kind of about a grown-up Nemo who spent the last 100 years trapped in Dream World, as it were, in Slumberland, and we kind of meet up with him in present day and what he's been up to since then. And that's being drawn by the same artist who drew Moon Girl. His name is Raza, and he's a friend of mine, lives here in South Philly. We work on this stuff, at the diner with Trove, and just kind of like hammer it all out, and then he goes back to his place and draws it. But he's very meticulous, it's very realistic, and so it takes him a bit of time.
Yeah, how much detail do you have to put into writing a comic script? Like, I imagine that writing a comic is pretty different from writing a novel or a film script. Is there any challenges between film writing and comic writing?
Yeah, I guess the biggest difference is in comic writing, you do a lot of writing that you have to be willing to throw away, in a sense, because it's so collaborative with one other person, in the case of the artist. And so, like, once you write down all of these ideas and you put them in the perfect order, and you come up with the perfect sequence of events for Batman to backflip and kick the Joker in the head, you show it to the artist, and the artist, who is infinitely more visually driven than the writer, is like, I have a better idea, or I can do this for you in 3 panels and not 7. And things start to get shifted and rearranged, and a really good writer and a really good artist will work together to reshape that story, that script, into the book, and then other times personalities clash, whatever, and it doesn't work out that way. But I guess what I'm saying is the inherent challenge is trust and being able to trust the people that you're working with. And in the case of Raza, I mean, we've been working with him for years now. I mean, it took 2 years to complete Moon Girl, which is available on Amazon and at moongirlfightscrime.com. And it's a 220-page graphic novel with all kinds of pin-ups and stuff like that. And when Raza started drawing it, we had given panel by panel descriptions, and in a sense that's helping him, and in a sense it's kind of putting him in a box. And somewhere around issue 3, I guess he asked for more of a screenplay style, and so now it's much more breezy. It's like a screenplay, in my opinion, is written much more like bullet points, where every sentence or every few sentences should be a very literal description of what's happening, not so much atmosphere or what books are on the shelf or what the furniture is made of or whatever. But a comic script is full of that kind of detail because you're trying to convey something to the artist to start a conversation. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think that helps out a lot.
Do you have any film scripts that you guys would like to do, or is it you're just focusing on comics for right now?
Well, film, you gotta get the money together for it. So hopefully, when all the money comes back from Alpha Girls, or when all the numbers come back from Alpha Girls, we have the money to do it again. It's looking promising, but it's hard to kind of set your whole future on promising. But we have this really great idea for a 50-foot woman movie. It's a noir that we wrote it, and now we have a script for it, and we're looking for people, and we're trying to gauge interest for it. But it was just a 13-page short comic that we had in an anthology, part of a bunch of other short comics or whatever. But we got the idea stuck in our heads and kept turning it over and over again. And it's kind of the idea of repurposing the 50-foot lady, the old 60s movie, and the pulp pop iconography that goes with it, and it's about the murder of the 50-foot woman, and who celebrity, and who stands something to gain, and all of those ugly details about when your friends become your enemies because money's involved, or love trumps vanity. And so it's real personal, actually. I know that sounds silly to say about a 50-foot woman movie, but it's real personal to Tony and I, and we've worked really hard on it, and I guess we're trying to get that out there now. We're trying to show that off and find interested parties, and please check out the short. It was part of a 215 comics anthology. I think it was called Ignition. It came out last year, and you could probably find it on Comixology, if not your local comic shop.
Is the intent to go 1950s or make it contemporary?
Like a neo-noir.
Well, I guess kind of a stylized now. Yes. The Batman animated series is a great example. I guess we keep coming back to that even in our own personal conversations, where that there were TVs and cell phones and rockets and stuff in that show, but it had this kind of this kind of historic Art Deco design to it. That show Smallville, when it started, it had something similar in the way that the whole show looked like it was set in 50s Americana with Ford F-Series trucks and bales of hay, and everybody's wearing white T-shirts, Hanes white T-shirts, and Chuck Taylor shoes, And I guess, I don't know what ended up happening to that show, and I don't presuppose to compare ourselves to anything else, really, but if you know what I mean, the way that you can use modern sensibilities and modern styles and trends to reflect a bygone era. And I guess in our case, we would do that with the kinds of cars that were in the film, the kinds of wardrobe that were in the film. But in general, I mean, I guess it's just much easier to make a movie set in the contemporary era than it is to make something a period piece,
Yeah, it sometimes the area can benefit you. Obviously, being up in the Northeast, Pennsylvania, if you want to do anything colonial era, all you got to do is head out to the Quaker or Amish areas. And down here, we actually do have a very thriving car culture, custom cars. So it's actually easy to find a lot of classic 50s and 40s hot rods. The problem is some of them have been modified and souped up with parts and color schemes that are not period accurate.
Yeah, it's like you might find like an old Ford, but it'll be painted to look like a P-51 or something.
But that being said,
That's
you can
That's
still
cool.
get a lot of classic cars down here, especially in the Southeast. North Carolina's also got a real big hot rod classic scene as well.
Not that far away from here, too.
No, not that.
I'm trying to come down there for it. I mean, it's definitely one of those things where if the money were there, we would try and get out of town, go somewhere beautiful like Atlanta. We looked at Savannah too. You know, a state with a tax break. These are the kind of things that independent filmmakers are need to get their movies done. Hey, even the big studios take advantage of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hells yes. Just on one hand, there Hunger Games, Goosebumps, Ant-Man. I believe they're shooting Star Wars at Pinewood, UK, or is it Pinewood here?
UK.
Okay, Pinewood,
shooting
UK.
that here.
Taken 3 and Fast and the Furious 7. One.
Hey, not mention The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
it's a Walking Dead.
I didn't even go into TV.
I mean, exactly. You didn't even have to, because you could start listing a million things from TV as well. Philadelphia or Pennsylvania had a really great tax break for a while. I'm not sure what the current situation is, but I know that it's always something that the local film community is fighting for, and the governor's been receptive for the most part. But you gotta be loud. You gotta be squeaky if you want the oil.
Yeah, persistence pays.
It really does. It really does. And the states that are, it's just the system is different. It used to be the studios were all in LA because the weather was always beautiful, but now you don't need beautiful weather to shoot movies. Maybe you want the rain, maybe you need the snow. And so places like Michigan or Louisiana can make themselves attractive because of their environments, not in spite of them. And location filmmaking is a completely different beast than studio filmmaking, than set building. I don't have any kind of real experience in studio filmmaking, like going to some big hangar bay and there's a lighting rig in the ceiling. I mean, that's all really, I'm sure, nice and awesome and fantastic. But when you're an independent filmmaker, there's no giant air conditioning ducts to keep the shoot cool. There's an electrician who's going to come in and rewire a box, and you have to know a little bit something about electricity because of you as an artist, what you're trying to get out of the scene, and your environment that you're in, and how you have to work with it to get what you want, and what those limitations are. Even it's just a different beast, and it's cool to see it expand, and it's real blue collar and real fun, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Oh, another big part of the exodus from LA is just the sheer cost of doing business and the living expense.
Yeah, California.
It's gotten so large that it's collapsing in on itself.
Yeah, I think like three of the most expensive cities to live in the United States are, and those conversely are the cities where they tend to shoot a lot of movies, like Los Angeles. The only way, like, anybody of, like, let's say, if you're a film person, but you're not necessarily the big honcho producer, you're going to have to live either in a tiny apartment, or you're going to have to live way out in East LA, and that's quite a drive, because Los Angeles is the size of, like, some of the smaller states, like Rhode Island.
Right.
And not to mention, a lot of these states that have done tax incentives, like Georgia, Louisiana, and whatnot, you can dress them up to look like other states. For instance,
oh yeah, man. Philadelphia is expert at being shot. We take down all the street signs. We put up New York signs. We got the subway. We'll just take the subway. We'll turn that into a New York subway. You just change a few signs around,
Right.
Yeah. But having been born in Louisiana, I can attest to this. There's just certain parts of the year, namely end of July through August, unless you are intentionally shooting in a living hell in the bayous, there's no reason to do it, because the humidity and the heat down there, it is so stifling. It's murder on anybody, literally. Like there's so few people I know who can handle a dry heat you can deal with when it's 100 degrees outside. But when it's 100 degrees and it's 96% humidity, it literally feels like you are in a sauna wherever you go, even in the shade.
Bugs too.
And the bugs. So the bugs you can handle. There's the sonic devices, and you've got the non-allergic aroma candles and torches. They actually do a pretty decent job. It's the humidity is what gets to people.
Yeah.
So Louisiana, even though they got the tax breaks, I guarantee you, there's very few films that are shooting down there in the heat of summer because it's just. I honestly don't even know how well 35 millimeter would survive in those conditions. I even doubt digital cameras could handle more than a couple of hours of exposure to the humidity without having to have some kind of dehumidifier or something.
Or a protective layer like that.
Yeah.
Just something to keep the moisture out of it.
Yeah, man, camera overheating is a big deal. We got lucky, but we had a second camera on standby and ice packs ready to go. There's I don't remember what the brand name is, but there's a brand that like fits into a cooler around a camera just right, and you package it in and cool the camera down and hopefully avoid any kind of damage. But I mean, we were shooting in like exceptionally hot days, and we lucked out. We didn't have any real problems.
What were you filming with?
It was the Red.
Oh yeah, the 2 years ago those models they overheat very easily in plus 90-degree temperatures.
Yeah, and I guess our backup was the 5D, and we had one of those ready to go if anything went wrong. But luckily it didn't. Luckily the workhorse pulled through. You get lucky sometimes.
Yeah. So, how was your how did you feel about the way that the film looked? Like you said that you really wanted the pinks to pop and whatnot. Was there any particular filmic look you were trying to go for?
I guess the biggest influence on the color palette and the look of the film is, oddly enough, All-Star Superman. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the comic.
A little bit, yeah.
It's a really interestingly colored comic book. It's got a lot of pastels juxtaposed to grays and browns. And when we found ourselves in this frat house, when we knew we were going to be shooting in this frat house specifically, we were like, well, this needs, some kind of contrast. And we started like kind of pushing in the direction using the pastels and getting a little bit more cartoony with them. So I am very happy with the way that it came out in the end. But like I was saying earlier about transfers and uploads and quality controls and things like that, there are certain services which have better transfers of the film than others. And just for instance, the movie looks exceptionally well on Amazon. The download that you'll get from those guys, it's exactly the way we wanted it to look. And I mean, I'm not going to call anybody out on anything, but like you don't always get that same the levels the same across the board.
Why is that?
I'm happy with it. I'm super happy with it. I guess just as long as I can come to your house and tune the dials in right and make sure that it's perfect.
Cool. So why do you think some copies would have a different quality than others? You think it's just they got the wrong DVD, or did they just decide, oh, we gotta put it up now, or that kind of thing?
I think it's luck of the draw. I mean, just learning from exporting it so many times, you can do the same thing over and over again. But like, a heavy footstep in the room, upsets the computer and just the right moment or just the wrong moment. So I have no explanation for it. All I can say is you do your best to dial into the sweet spot, and then you pick a favorite.
Cool. Well, do you have any final words, wisdom you can give to any aspiring filmmakers or anybody else out there that wants to make a comic or shoot a movie?
Make friends. Make friends first. It is the whole reason you're really doing this. You don't even know it. You think you're doing it for some other kind of creative or inspiring, world-changing thing, but really deep down you want friends. And I know that's true because it was true for me. And when you find those people who think the way that you do, all of these other things will come into place so much easier. And you'll be like, wow, it's writing itself, or oh my God, the production was amazing. And you won't even be able to understand it at first, but it's because you've found friends who understand you. And that's my advice. That's I hope useful.
I think that's pretty useful.
Yeah, it is.
Closing thoughts, RC?
Be friendly. Not too friendly.
So I guess if I really want to make friends, I'll just get a panda suit.
That seems like the quickest and easiest way to do it.
Good luck.
I'm just not sure those are the kinds of friends you want. I mean, just seriously, that experience, it was fun, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad that nobody remembers me or saw me with the helmet off, because it's unfortunately furries are kind of becoming more and more known, and in a bad way.
Yeah,
So it's like
Can I hug you, RC?
No.
Yeah, it's like there's
not because I'm not okay with the manly hug. It's because you said you were sick. So
yeah, it's like
just be clear on it.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, like freaking Disney. Like people will walk up to like the mascots who are dressed as like Mickey Mouse, and they'll hand them their room key with like instructions and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that actually a good friend of mine, his sister works for Walt Disney World, and she apparently found out that this was happening, and it started about 5-6 years ago. I think he said that is when it really started to become a problem. Like
People want the mouse, I guess.
Oh god!
Hey, want to play in Mickey's house? Oh, that's so wrong.
I'm not going to that House of Mouse.
I mean, I could do the Mickey Mouse voice, and I could make him say something really creepy right now, but I don't think I will. I got in trouble with that doing Goofy once. With
Really?
A friend. I'm no longer allowed to do the Goofy voice in the presence of a friend of mine. Well, what do you expect was going to happen? I was quoting Hannibal Lecter from The Silence of the Lambs.
What?
Hannibal Goofy?
Don't ask me how that started. It was just a downward slope that I couldn't put on the brakes. I had to write it out.
So you were on another podcast?
No, this was just a random sit down conversation with a friend. We were trying to decide where to go to dinner or something like that.
And that's when you pulled that.
There's some farmer beans with some nice Chianti.
I can't. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm so tempted. But I'm not going to do it. I mean, if anybody wants to hear some really bad stuff, just watch Robin Williams on Inside the Actors Studio. Because when they ask him about the genie, and he's talking to Lipton, he's like, in the booth, they would pretty much let me do whatever I wanted because they hadn't animated anything. But then, the guy on the other side of the glass would go, Mr. Williams, it's Disney. And that's actually where the genie gets its color, because he went a little blue. That's where he gets his color.
You get a slow clap for that one.
Hey, that wasn't my joke.
Well, I guess on that note, kids, that's the Motion Parallax Initiative.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Cool.
This is RC.
This is Hong.
And you're?
I'm John Zito.
And I am DJ Anti-Pope X. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Nice.
See you next week.
Go, go, Power Rangers!